So we're looking at Algebra 1, Module 4, Lesson 1, which is about multiplying and factoring polynomial expressions. This is part 1 of quite a few videos that will help explain all the ideas in this particular lesson. Okay, so let's consider an example. We're multiplying today a monomial by a polynomial. A quick review. You learned about something in the past called the distributive property, and it helped you with things like this. For example, you do 3 times 5 plus 7. You have sort of two options. If you're going to use order of operations, you would add 5 plus 7 first. You'd have 3 times 12, and then 3 times 12 is 36. So that's one way to do it. But when you first learned about distributive property, what you understood or found out is that you had the option to multiply the 3 by each of these things. So if we did that, you'd have 3 times 5 plus 3 times 7, or 15 plus 21, which is 36. Okay. Distributive property also works if this had been subtraction. So if there had been a subtraction sign here, you can have a subtraction sign here, here, and the answer would have been something different. It would have been -6, actually, is what it would have been. All right. So let's consider using this property to solve a problem like the following. So suppose you're told to multiply 2z times z plus 3. Okay. This thing here is called a monomial. I'm not going to write that out. And then this thing over here is called a polynomial because it has more than one term. And all this process is using the distributive property. Multiply these two things together. So 2z times z plus 2z times 3 is all you're doing. Now, we learned already that if you do 2 times z there, z times z is z squared, plus, and here you can do 2 times 3 and get 6, so you get 6z. So here you go, that's the product that you get by multiplying this monomial by this polynomial. Let's take a look at one more example before we go. So this looks a little more complicated. 3x squared y cubed times 5xy cubed minus 10x squared. All right. Again, you just apply distributive properties. You multiply 3x squared y cubed by the first term, and then also the second term. Distributive property works if you have subtraction also. So here we go. So we get 3x squared y cubed times 5xy cubed minus 3x squared y cubed times 10x squared. And then we use what we know about multiplying monomials. 3 times 5 is 15. X squared times x is really x to the third. Think of this x having a little 1 there. You can add those exponents. Y cubed times y cubed is y to the 6th. Careful, some people will say y to the 9th by mistake, but you're adding exponents when you multiply things with the same base. Over here, 3 times 10 is 30. X squared times x squared is x to the 4th. And then y cubed times, well, there's no power of y here, so it's just y cubed. There you go. There's your answer. Thanks for watching.